It's all going so well for Jeffrey. He went on to self-improvement, he increased his SMV by lifting weights and doing cardio and being social, and eventually he got himself a girlfriend. He wants to spend his life with her. Wait, Jeffrey, what are you doing? Stop skipping your workouts, Jeff. Bro, why are you eating all of that junk food? You're getting fat. It's too late. Jeffrey got comfortable and his woman left. Adonis. Adonis uses her love as extra fuel for his mission. He won't get comfortable. Adonis chases discomfort like Asian men chase white women. And because of that, Adonis forever maintains his woman's love and respect.
Oh, this makes me want to throw up.
I'm gonna say something pretty sexist and it might even get me banned from YouTube, but it is absolutely the truth. Loyalty is not a feminine trait.
Look, okay. I understand I say a lot of the times that a lot of women don't have honor and integrity, but it's not because the women are incapable of it. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that honor and integrity are like are male traits. I don't think I've said that. If I have, I apologize. I think it's just that we hold men to the task of having integrity. You know, men hold each other to a standard. Women hold men to a standard. You know, like, but I'm not gonna pretend that women can't have integrity or women can't be honorable. I mean, they most certainly can be, and they should be. They should be held to this standard, because the moment you say that being loyal isn't a feminine trait, then we logically can't hold it to them when they decide to be disloyal. And I reject that shit offhand. I'm not giving women a pass because it's not built in their DNA to be like, no, you I'm not going to allow you to pretend that women can be reprehensible people because loyalty is not a feminine trait. That's the only thing this leads to, my brother. That's just number one. But number two, this is the dumbest shit I've heard in a long fucking time. Like, what, your grandma ain't loyal? Your great grandma? Come on, dude. It's like, just... You take it too many red pills, bro.
So think about it. Loyal women died with their men when the enemy tribe invaded.
Or the enemy did not kill them and instead captured them and then raped them. It's probably a little bit of what happened there.
It is an evolutionary advantage for a woman to not exactly be loyal.
Or maybe it's an evolutionary advantage to be bigger and stronger than women so you can hold them down after you just slaughtered her entirely family around her and then forcibly put your member inside of her and ejaculate. Did it maybe possibly occur to you that these women who literally just watched their whole family get slaughtered before them maybe aren't disloyal, but instead are rape victims? Like, don't get me wrong. I get it. Like, I don't have the most favorable opinion of modern women, but like, we gotta throw them a bone on this one. Like,
unloyal women were spared. The husband was killed by the enemy tribe's alpha male. The loyal women who tried to protect their husband and tried to fight the enemy tribe would have been killed.
Or maybe, considering that human beings thousands of years ago, probably a world stronger than what we are, and considering the relative strength difference between men and women currently, Lord only knows just how astronomically different the strength between a normal man or a warrior male and a female would have been in antiquity, in the Middle Ages, my friend, and in the Greco-Roman times. Like, who knows just how night and day that was. That's not even night and day. That's February to July. that's a different season of strength at that point. It's like the loyal woman who tried to protect her against a Spartan, against a French knight, against an Apache warlock. Like, you wouldn't have to fight them. Like, you just smack them upside the head, and that just might crack their whole neck right there. Just.
But the unloyal women who instantly said, wait, you can f me if you want, were taken into the enemy tribe. They were spared.
Look, brother, fair enough. You know what? To be fair to the complexities of reality, were there some women that probably like instantly gave up and were just like, you know what, fine, take me. Like, I surrender, you know? Sure, I mean, just to be fair to the complexities of reality, probably so. But can we be fair? Can we just take a second and just recognize context and history and just be fair that maybe women who watched their husband and children get slaughtered by raiders and then were captured and can we be fair and not label them as traitors? Can we throw them a bone and say maybe they got raped? Can we just, I know it's a buzzword. I know lots of people don't like to hear it, but can we just give them a little bit of grace and a little bit of mercy and just say maybe they were fucking raped?
They were allowed to live, and essentially they just became part of the enemy tribe.
I mean, I guess slaves were allowed to live. What a wonderful, fantastic life that must have been for them, huh? I mean, the only time slavery was kind of, really tolerable, as far as if I remember correctly in history class, was like during the Roman era time, and that was kind of mostly after the Romans used slavery kind of more as a way to mesh, defeated tribes together, or like defeated states together. Slavery in Rome, it wasn't the worst state you could be in, and you could work your way out of it as well. There were kind of options, there were laws, you were kind of treated a little bit better than like in any other environment. I still wouldn't say that it would be an optimal state to be in, but you could at least work towards not being a slave anymore in Roman times. But like after Rome fell, even prior to Rome, like let's kind of be. You were allowed to live and you became a part of their tribe. It's like, after you got raped repeatedly, after watching your family get slaughtered. What a wonderful life.
It is a survival benefit, and it is very common to see this, for a woman to be able to quickly lose feelings for a man. One of the things they can say is that their ex kind of like disgusts them now. That they just kind of aren't interested in them, at all. And they're not lying when they say that. Women get to benefit from a few psychological differences from men, and we can almost boil it down to almost like the light switch effect.
Listen, I've experienced this a lot. So I'm not gonna say that this doesn't happen, because I've experienced it a lot. There have been plenty of times where women would just stop caring about me, like at the flip of a switch. They just turn it off. They just don't care. All my investment, and sometimes all of my investment in love just never really meant anything to begin with. I've experienced this with the modern woman. I get it, but I don't think that we can blame women's ability to flip a switch and not. I would actually argue that they never cared to begin with, which we'll get to in a moment. But I don't think the modern woman's ability to be somewhat psychopathic is rooted in antiquity of women being captured and then raped by the men who slaughtered their family. Before we can proceed, I think we all, red pill or not, MGTOW or not, incel or not, dating coach or not, guys, men, can we come together just for one moment? I know we're angry at women. I know the modern woman is, but can we just take a chill pill? Can we just pause for a second and just all say, okay, fine. In the past, they were raped.
Where she can instantly lose attraction to a man who currently doesn't seem like he could protect her and he could be the man to impregnate her and help her raise that child.
Yeah, but let's be fair. The modern woman is not particularly concerned with being protected or anything like that, or having an alpha male keep. It's mostly financial security, and it's mostly their own validation. It's mostly their own aggrandizement. Really, it's not. Most women aren't really. I've seen plenty of women with just absolute dweebs. It's not.
So what does this exactly mean? If you want her love and you want to keep it, you have to maintain your status and you have to maintain your own growth.
Well, my friend, the first mistake we made here is that we did not define our terms. But I'm just gonna have to say flat out that that woman doesn't love you if the only thing that keeps her there is your utility and usage to her. You ever notice how like women raise their children and like care about them, and the kids have no real utility to her as babies as they grow? I mean, I've seen a lot of people in the red pill. And look, listen, I've never even technically ever been loved by a woman either. But I'm not going to go so far as to say they're like incapable of it. Like, they're still humans. And we have to be fair to the fact that they're still fucking humans. And so again, I've never been loved by a woman. I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to go far enough to say that they're incapable of it. And what you're describing here as a woman, the only way a woman will stay around you is if you continue to be useful to her, is a psychopath pretending, doing what they need to do to keep you there so they keep using you. I mean, you're more describing psychopathy and manipulate. You're more defining manipulation than you're really defining love. And to be fair, is it fair that this is the general state of how like a lot of relationships work? Yeah, this is certainly the phenomena, but I don't think this is something that we should be fighting to maintain, but something we should be fighting to destroy. We should not be giving women our utilities in our bodies and our whole lives, as workhorses, just so we keep chasing the carrot on the stick.
If she gets the idea that you essentially are no longer a suitable partner to protect her and to raise that child, she can instantly lose her attraction towards you.
I mean, if she's a psychopath, she could do that regardless. In fact, if she was mostly sociopathic or psychopathic, she never would have cared about you to begin with, and everything was all just deployed from the beginning to just utilize your utility, which is a lot closer to what you're describing than like love and affection and care. Love being a selfless emotion, you giving to someone and trying to help someone more so than you getting something out of it. If you're more talking about like a woman's like adoration, or more accurately what you're really describing is a woman's continued presence in your life, would be the best way to define the way you're using love. But it wouldn't be anything positive. In fact, again, like if the woman's only concern with you is the condition that you keep giving her stuff, then it's more she's there for the transaction than she cares about you as a human. Because she cares about you as a human, she would support you as well. She would give to you as well. She would help you as well. If you were lacking or failing in some regard, she would help you and pull you back and bring you up. She wouldn't just fucking leave.
Most guys are truly oblivious to what girls want.
Well, a huge portion of that comes because what women say they want isn't what they actually want. And half the time, I don't even think women know what they really want, because some of them really are just stupid. Others of them seem to just be so devoid of like self-reflection and like critical thought that they never really stop to even begin to really introspect. It's kind of annoying, I'll be honest with you.
And so I hear the same thing from average men who say, oh, I'm in a relationship, I don't really need to work hard anymore, I don't need to like follow, do the goals, I can relax now.
Well, that would check out, considering that all that person was doing was all for the goal of getting the woman. The reason why you, which you will explain, checked out is because the only reason you worked out so hard, the only reason you cared about your diet, was so you could get girls to like you. Your goal had been met, and thus there was no more motivation or need to continue because you got what you asked for. Game, set, match. If the goal was to make $10,000 and you made $10,000, like, why would you keep working hard at your job if the goal has been established? What you would need to do then is create a new goal to keep striving for, because once you satisfy the goal, then that's it. It's the same thing with video games. Once you beat the video game's main story and there's no extra content, like, what are you left with but just running around fighting mobs and grinding to level 99 until you can't grind anymore? It's like, when I was a kid, I got to this state where I had pretty much basically beat Pokemon Fire Red, and I got my Charizard to level 100, and then I was just wandering about the world accomplishing nothing. So I stopped playing the game. If there's nothing to strive for, why are you striving? It's over. Now, again, if your objective was to capture the woman and then like raise your children with her. Now the goal goes beyond just trying to be physically attractive to get her attention. Now it's, okay, we need to work together to protect our children and help them be better human beings. That goal goes beyond the selfishness, beyond the aggrandizement of you looking good, and it goes to you actually producing and paying forward and giving out to another person. And thus it becomes more perpetual because you have to keep raising your children. You can't just stop raising your babies. You can't just, okay, fine, I guess literally you could just put them in the foster care system, but if you love them, hopefully you wouldn't,
Who say, oh, I'm in a relationship, I don't really need to work hard anymore. I don't need to like follow, do the goals. I can relax now. And I'll be honest, I've never been stupid enough to really declare that. I know it's wrong, but I kind of did it anyway. And so previously I've been in relationships where, yeah, I got comfortable. I stopped working as hard. I became less of the guy that was attractive to her in the first place. I used the girl as my binge eating partner. I skipped workouts. I missed a lot of my work days. And so what do you think happened because of that? Now, no girl is ever going to be able to tell you the truth because it looks bad on them.
No, they will tell you. Now, of course, they don't recognize that it does make them look like a manipulative user and downright manipulative psychopath. They wouldn't put it to you in such manner, in such words, but Scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's drive, trying to holler at me. Like, they'll tell you, they just won't say, I'm a psychopath who only wants to use you for your gain and your utility and your stuff. But they will use words to describe, can you pay my bills, my telephone bills? Like, I don't think you do, so you and me are through.
Gained 2% body fat, or that you stopped tracking your macros on MyFitnessPal. They consciously don't really know. All they can really say is that they just don't really have the same feelings for you.
And yes, because all that really mattered was the good feelings that you gave them, the validation that you gave them, the thrill that you gave them, right? The shivers. But you weren't really important. It was the money that was important, or it was the feeling you invoked. But you don't really matter. It's just, it was just your turn. And that's how a lot of women think about men, is tools to be used rather than people to be loved, unfortunately.
Guys would look at this with a bit of disgust and a bit of anger, but I don't think like that, and I don't think you should be.
I mean, I can understand not being angry, but it is certainly reprehensible behavior that we absolutely should not be bending backwards in order to uphold and strive to maintain. There couldn't possibly be a whole internet philosophy of men trying to become the very awful, shitty, nonsensical standard that women desire. No, that doesn't exist at all. At least I hope it doesn't.
Because how can we blame her?
Because with great power, there must also come great responsibility. Too much is given, much should be expected. If I sacrifice my life and give it to you, whether that be my time, my money, my wisdom, my physical strength, then you as a woman, you as a decent human being should appreciate that. And if not reciprocated, pay it forward with that understanding that you can't live life without other people. It's just called acting righteous. It's called being a good fucking human being. And if we can't expect that from women, then I don't know why we struggle so hard to attempt to court them, because they are the absolute scourge of existence. If you think that this should just be normal standard issue of them.
If you were X, you were doing X when you attracted her, and you stopped doing that because you're a dumbass little lazy man-child who thinks once he gets the woman he can relax, you are no longer that same man. You were attractive to her when you were so disciplined and you were hitting 6 workouts a week, but now that you're with her, you're hitting 4, 3. You're happily taking days off because you've already attracted the girl. You don't need to work as much.
Well, yeah, that's probably because they spent more time focusing on trying to get the woman rather than focusing on why they needed the woman to begin with. And I mean, if we should ask that question, why do we need women to begin with? Come on, let's see. Come on. Is it A, to feel real good about yourself? Is it B, to have a shiny object of which to display among other people? But she'd have to be real pretty for that one. I don't know. Is it C, to have someone that you can have sex with on tap, or someone you can emotionally abuse and mistreat if you're sadistic? Well, maybe. Or is it D, someone that you could reproduce with sexually and then raise your children with her effectively, because those children need her presence as well as yours for their healthy development?
Well, what do you know? The answer to the first question is D.
But now she's looking at you thinking, but you were disciplined. Like, that's what I liked about you. That's so sexy. Like, you had a better body just 3 months ago. How can we then blame her for essentially changing how she feels about you when you have changed the person that you are? You attract women when you are focused on your grind. The amount of guys who are saying this online, it's so true. But
yes, but considering that the only reason they were focused on their grind was to attract the women, it becomes a little bit of a feedback loop. How you guys never realized that is beyond me.
love. And so if you love her, if you want to keep her love, you have to keep up the exact same things that were making you attractive in the first place. Even if you don't really want to like do them right now, you'd rather like spend time with her. And so in a weird, almost stoic, negative visualization, you can use this as extra fuel for your mission, to think that if you fall off your mission, she's gonna leave you.
Yeah, because no matter how you slice it, from the woman's point of view, that's rather contemptible behavior. I say from the woman's point of view. If from any point of view, that behavior is kind of contemptible. To disregard people because you no longer like them or they no longer validate you is awful. Because people shouldn't dance in the palm of your hands to keep your attention. People should be supported and loved and helped. If the person is failing in some regard, you help them. And to be fair, should the male's primary objective been to grind so hard just to get the woman? No, that kinda does set him up for failure in its own right. But for women as well, it's kind of on both of us here. It really is. I don't think people of your caliber ever recognize this, but you do realize that when you talk about women in such manner, you do know that it makes a lot more sense to not interact with them than to interact with them, right? If you're saying that you have to constantly maintain whatever facade or nonsense that you were doing before to get the woman to like you until you die, even though it was frustrating or uncomfortable or kind of pointless and a little ridiculous, would you ever really be happy? Especially with the caliber of women we have today. Like, let's remember, like, you're not maintaining this for Wonder Woman. You're not maintaining this for Artoria Pendragon, my brother. You're not maintaining this for an angel of the Lord. We're talking about regular, average, everyday women that work at, like, Costco, that are just kind of okay human beings at best, that are just okay to be around at best. Like, we're not talking about beautifully feminine, wonderful, intelligent women that just aspire you to be a better human being. We're not talking about that. Just normal girls. You're supposed to maintain this frame till the end of time for a normal woman that doesn't have to do anything but be. And that sounds wonderful, like a wonderful life to you. It's not lost on me that a lot of women do operate like this. But again, I think that this is more the conditioning of modernity and the conditioning of having too many options, and 50 years of feminism constantly telling women that men don't matter and men aren't shit, and that men's only utility is just, our objects and our financial, provision. I don't think any of this is just like genetically programmed or women in their bloody hypergamy or whatever. But either way it goes, like if this is the caliber of women we have to deal with, then we're just better off without them. The truth of the matter is, the reason why you fall off of your gains is because you didn't seek strength. You didn't seek virtue. You didn't seek trying to find the best possible human you could be, to see the upper limits of what the human body is capable of. You just wanted to be aesthetically pleasing to women. That's why you fell off of it, because you met your goal. The brain, you've satisfied its conditions, and to continue to seek it just becomes this ever-loving feedback loop where your entire self-esteem is all dependent on women liking you. And I don't think that that's a very good thing at all, my brother, my friend. I don't think that the acquisition... And again, I know lots of people constantly say that if you're on your grind, if you're on your purpose, then, the women will chase you. But again, the entire point of being on your grind and on your purpose is to get women to chase you. You're not trying to uplift humans. You're not even trying to uplift yourself because you even really want it half of the time. You're just doing it because you want the women to like you. You want the women to follow you. You don't seek the strength and perseverance of trying to make yourself the best man that you could be for your children, or even for yourself half the time. You're still just doing it for women. It's like, and if this is just to satisfy the insatiable need and desire of women to use us, then I just don't think that we should play that game at all. Honestly, we're much better being MGTOW. We're much better just pursuing our own goals. We're much better just being by ourselves than constantly struggling on this treadmill of trying to make women like us when they never liked us to begin with. The only thing they liked was the things that we gave them. It was the feelings we made them feel, but not us as people. If women aren't going to love us, if women aren't going to support us, if women aren't going to be there for us, why do we want them? Why should we want them? Why should we even fight so hard? And this is the thing that bothers me the most. It's like you guys struggle so hard to morph yourselves into being this grand, high-value male for the most contemptible of human beings. That is some of the worst characterizations of women I have ever heard in a while. And it just is standard issue at this point. But it's not good. We should not be accepting of women behaving like this. We should hold it in disdain and absolute disgust. So that being said, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comments below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool kids soon. Adios.